Hello humans, I'm Yoshiller, and welcome back to some more of my Pokemon Scarlet walkthrough. I'll admit, twirling right there, I almost wanted to say Pokemon Baton, because that's usually how I started my Pokemon Baton videos back in Sword and Shield. But I guess in contrast to Pokemon Sword and Shield, I don't quite stick the landing every time now, do I? In any case, in the previous part of this walkthrough, I visited this town, and I got my first gym badge in the game, so that's exciting. Now, in this part, I intend to explore other parts of the Paldea region. I've decided I want to go ahead and do all of the gym battles first. So I gotta make sure I find my next gym badge. There we go. Yeah, and it looks like there's a route I can take that gets me from where I am currently. Oh, hang on, Pokemon League. Hold on a second. Can I go to the Pokemon League from here? I guess not. I don't really have a way to traverse water yet. And ultimately, it just seems to make the most sense for me to take on all of the gym battles first, make my way around the map in a clockwise fashion, and then go back around in a counterclockwise fashion to take on all the Titans, and then to go clockwise again to take on all the Team Star players. In any case, I guess I can't access the Pokemon League right now. I really keep looking at it. It would be nice to go to it now, but I imagine there will be other things blocking me off, so I guess I just need to head in a general northern direction. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go in the northern direction and we're gonna see what types of things await me. We're gonna see if I encounter a Pokemon I haven't seen before or anything. I don't know. Croco Man, Fry Guy, defeat the bee, thank you. Okay, well from here we've got one of those exploratory parts. I've got more of the world to explore. I'm gonna go ahead and train up my Pokemon and gather some items along the way because the game allows me to do that. In fact, I quite like that I can relatively freely throw out my Pokemon and battle wild Pokemon and kind of grind and move. I like that a lot. Now, okay, in this case I ran over a Diglett, and if I do encounter a wild Pokemon, whether intentionally or unintentionally, I figure at least for these earlier parts of the walkthrough, I'll go ahead and actually do the battle. I don't want to have to run very often because I know as I get to later parts in this walkthrough, I'm probably not going to want to battle as frequently, and so therefore, I'll probably want to run more frequently. But as we are still in the early parts of this walkthrough, I mean, heck, this is only part 8. Whoa, an adamant mint! Now that's handy. That allows me to change the nature of a Pokemon and make it so that its attack status stronger. I will definitely use that. I don't know if I'm gonna use it now, but I will definitely use it later. In any case, I like that I can train my Pokemon and keep moving. But I also like that, you know, like right here, I can take on like 5 Pokemon right here, and it only takes like 5 seconds. It's great. I like that about this game a lot. This game is completely focused on giving players an open world adventure, and I really like the fact that I can pick up items and the game isn't really stopping. It does give me a bigger text box when I picked up a new item for the first time, and it will stop me if I pick up some sort of major item, such as a key item or a TM. But otherwise, I don't know. I just like the flow of the game so far. I've been very fortunate to have a good experience, and I think I like that trainers aren't just randomly attacking me for battles, that I actually have to approach them in battle. I actually think that that's a pretty neat idea. All right, buddy, would you like to would you like to battle my evolved Pokemon, my Croco Man? For some reason, I can't remember its name if my life depended on it, but I'm calling it Fry Guy anyway. All right, Alessandro, the student, what have you got for me? A Shroomish, hey! Shroomish is a phenomenal Pokemon because it evolves into Breloom. I imagine at some point in the game I'll find a wild Shroomish, so I'll go into that whole whether it's good in single player or multiplayer thing later, because right now the Shroomish is dead. But just know that I like Shroomish. I even used one back in my Pokemon Emerald walkthrough, and it evolves into Breloom, and Breloom is great. But I'll give a more elaborate, I guess you can't catch people's Pokemon. Sorry, did you want to catch my Pokemon? It's a starter Pokemon. I don't think you can really catch starter Pokemon. In some games you can. In Pokemon Let's Go you can, and actually in Pokemon Sword and Shield you can through raid battles. Mudslap, hey! This, under normal circumstances, isn't a great move, but for single player it can be quite handy, and I've actually had my fair share of time using Mudslap in multiplayer battles. It's a ground type move that lowers the opponent's accuracy every time you use it. It's not particularly powerful, but lowering your opponent's accuracy can go a long way. I'm telling you, even in games like Pokemon Stadium, I completed Pokemon Stadium just earlier this year. In fact, I also completed Pokemon Stadium 2. Hopefully that video will come out by the end of the year. I've got it all recorded. And let me tell you, lowering the opponent's accuracy basically saved me in those games. And who knows, maybe in the future I'll come up with competitive strategies in this game where I lower my opponent's accuracy. Is this a new Pokemon? I think it is. What is this, like a rock mushroom? I think that's exactly what it is. A Knackley. I caught it off guard, but with any luck, I'll catch it off cliff too. Although I don't intend to actually catch this Pokemon. I'm good. I mean, I'm not opposed to catching a new Pokemon soon. It does appear to be a rock type. I don't know anything about this Pokemon. This is my first time ever seeing it. Although I'm not particularly prone to using rock types. The only rock type, oh, is there another one attacking me? Oh, it's one of these things. Well, I'll continue to talk about rock types for a sec. I'm not particularly fond of rock types. It's not like I dislike them, so to speak. It's just the only rock type Pokemon I've ever competed with is Gigalith. And Gigalith isn't great. It has competitive uses, but it's not great. It is better in a single player setting. All right, hang on a second. I gotta figure out where I'm going because it looks like I'm about to reach a point where I can't really prevail further. I thought all I had to do was go north. Well, I have to go northwest, but I'm about to hit a river basically, and I can't do anything. Okay, well, you know what? Since I'm over here, since I'm already exploring this part of the route, let me see what this is all about because it clearly looks different than the rest of the route. Oh, can I not access that? I guess we'll see in a moment. Oh, hello, Fletchling. This would be a better matchup for Palmy than my Croco man here, but it's fine. We'll go ahead and just do the same thing I've been doing, which is spamming Incinerate. Oh, but yeah, I was talking about rock types. There are other rock type Pokemon that I like. I think Tyranitar is pretty cool. I think Lycanroc's pretty cool, but I've never really had a reason to use rock type Pokemon because while they are good offensively, they kind of suck defensively, and they kind of give off this vibe that they would be good defensively, but they only resist, what, like 3 types? And they're weak to like 4 or 5 types, and all 4 or 5 of those types are common. All right, Pom-Pom's level 16, but it doesn't look like it's gonna evolve. I assume Pom-Pom evolves. I feel like it's the type of Pokemon that would. It's an early game Pokemon that kind of starts off small. Like it's like one of the first things you can catch. If it's like Rattata, it definitely evolves. But if it's like other electric rodents, it's like 50-50 whether or not it evolves. Like Pikachu evolves, but Emolga and Dedenne don't evolve. And also, I know I saw that trainer back over there. I'm gonna come back to him later because right now I just want to keep exploring. I don't know what this part's gonna become. I don't know what most parts are gonna become. I doubt I can't climb up that cliff. That's unfortunate. Maybe I will get an upgrade later that just allows me to blatantly drive up a cliff. But for now, the only way I'll be able to grab whatever is atop of that cliff is if I work my way around and come back down to that point. In the meantime, I'm A-okay still grabbing items. I guess 2 videos ago I was exploring this area, but I guess I didn't explore this specific area, or if I did, I just missed a ton of items. I don't know. But anyway, it's not like I hate rock types. Offensively, it's one of the best types. In fact, the move Rock Slide, oh, Thief, that's actually a handy move. I'll talk about that in a second. Offensively, one of the best moves in the game is a rock type move, and it's Rock Slide. And the sand weather condition is pretty obnoxious to deal with because it buffs rock types. But otherwise, I'm not a big rock type user. Maybe that'll change in this walkthrough. Maybe I'll catch a rock type Pokemon. I don't know. All this to say, that one rock type Pokemon that spawned, I ain't catching that one. But anyway, the move Thief. Thief is not a great battle move per se. It doesn't really have much competitive use, but I guess it could, but there's not really much of a reason to use it in competitive settings. I guess if you really want to take an item off of your opponent, you can. Let me go ahead and put Pom-Pom at the front so we can fight these Fletchling. But what Thief is primarily good for is if you need to get specific items off of wild Pokemon. There are some items that you can only get off of wild Pokemon in the past. That was Heart Scales and Metal Coats and whatnot. So Thief was useful there. Otherwise, there is another move called Knockoff, which will flat out make it so that your opponent can't use a hold item, and that's probably better than Thief. Thief will let you steal it, but it's really only useful if you yourself are not currently holding a hold item. Otherwise, Knockoff is going to be the better move. What the heck is this thing? That's also a new Pokemon. All right, Pom-Pom, go get it! It's pink! Pink! I happen to like pink. And its name is Tinkatink! It's a pink Tinkatink. Well, it's pink, so I'm inclined to believe that it's potentially Psychic type. And a Psychic type Pokemon this early on would be useful. Oh, it's not very effective, which means it's either Rock or Steel type. Is it Psychic Steel? That's good typing if it is. Okay. You know what, folks? I think I'm gonna catch it. All right. If I do want to catch it, and I do, then I don't want to KO it. Quick Attack is barely doing anything, so maybe I'll land a couple more of those and I'll start chucking balls at it. Baby Doll Eyes. That's a fairy move. Are you fairy Steel type? That would be fantastic typing if you are. So, okay, let's go over to maybe it is best for me to stay with Pom-Pom. Okay, well, Thundershock. I'm a little scared that Thundershock may KO it. Let's see. But if you're Steel-type Pokemon are generally known for being defensive. All right, you can even take another Thundershock. I'm willing to do it. I think even a critical hit won't take you out. All right, Metal Claw. Cool, good thing Electric types actually resist Steel. But yeah, Fairy Steel or even Psychic Steel is fantastic typing, and a Steel-type Pokemon this early on would be great. And if I catch you in a Heal Ball, a pink ball to match your pink coloring, that would be perfect! Come on, Pink Tinkatink, come join the team! Yeah, baby! I'll tell you what, I was not expecting to add the third Pokemon of my team to my team in this video, but I'll gladly take it. What is it, Psychic Steel or Fairy Steel? Fairy Steel! I'll admit that's better than Psychic Steel. Fairy Steel is debatably the best typing in the game. It swings its handmade hammer around to protect itself, but the hammer is often stolen by Pokemon that eat metal? How many Pokemon eat metal? And it's often stolen, whatever. It's Fairy Steel. That is debatably the best typing in the game, and I'll elaborate on that in a second. For now, I gotta find a nickname. It is female, which is fun. It carries a hammer around. It's pink, but its name is Tinkatink. I already like the name Tinkatink. The problem is, I don't know if this Pokemon evolves or not, and if it does, it's not gonna be called Tinkatink anymore. I do like the Tink idea. Tinkatink. Tinka-tinka-tinka-tinka-tink. Pinky Tinky? No. No. Tinky Pinky? No. I was not expecting to catch a Pokemon in this part, but that's kind of the fun of it, right? Just gotta come up with a nickname on the spot. Never seen this Pokemon before. I already love it because it's called Tinkatink. What? Hang on a sec. All right, I got something. Unfortunately, I can only fit 12 letters, but I'm gonna call this thing Tink Tink Tink. Yeah, Tink Tink Tink. It's short for Tink 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 Tink. But I can't fit all that, so Tink 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 is gonna have to do. Well, welcome to the team, Tink 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 Tink. It's a pleasure to have you. Fairy Steel type. Nickname Tink Tink Tink. Tink 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 is fine. I imagine they're not gonna allow me to have a nickname that's 50 letters long. I think it's more than that. That might be closer to 60 or 70. But 12 is definitely sufficient. Boom. Pokemon 279. Yeah, Fairy Steel! I did not think I was gonna get a Fairy or a Steel type Pokemon, let alone this early in the game. Let's have a look at you. So it's another girl, so now I've got 2 Goyles on my team, very good. All right, and then what type of Pokemon are you? Not your literal types. Your Tera type is Steel. That's actually not as useful. It is better to be Fairy Steel than regular Steel. Let's see, your ability is own tempo, so you can't be confused or intimidated. That's useful. Are you well, you might be a physical attacker. If you're Steel type. Fairy is usually a special attacker. You could be a special attacker, in which case being intimidated doesn't really matter. It looks like your best stat, it looks like you are defensive. Your nature is jolly. Yeah, your special attack was down, but your speed was up. I don't know if you're supposed to be a speedy Pokemon. Steel type Pokemon aren't traditionally fast. I know there are exceptions. I know there's like Lucario, but Lucario is like the only thing I can think of. And Lucario is also one of the few Steel Pokemon I can think of that makes for a good special attacker too. The other one's like Magnezone. And even then, Lucario is probably better as a physical attacker. It just has a respectable special attack stat. Anyway, Steel Fairy, huh? Wow, I actually got my 3rd party member already. If I keep this up, I'll probably have all 6 of my party members like immediately. But I'm very happy to have a Fairy Steel type Pokemon. If it's defensive, that's great. It kind of reminds me of Mawile, who wound up becoming a Steel Fairy type Pokemon. And Mawile is one of my favorite Pokemon of all time. And one of the most competitively useful Pokemon of all time is Zacian. And that's a Steel Fairy Pokemon. And the reason the typing is so strong is because defensively, we'll go ahead and put Tink 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 in the back right now. Oh, hang on. Well, I see that there's a Drowsy. I've not fought a Drowsy in this game just yet, so what do you say? Tink 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 Tink. You want to have your debut battle right now while I explain Drowsy and then explain why Fairy Steel typing is so great? I will explain it, I promise. Just gotta discuss Drowsy first. So Drowsy is a Psychic type Pokemon, and as far as single player Pokemon go, it's not terrible. Psychic types are definitely great offensive threats to pretty much every type in the game except for Dark Steel and other opposing Psychic types. And the idea of getting a Psychic type this early on in the game can be useful. It's part of the reason why I caught this Pokemon. And also disabled my Metal Claw, so we'll go for Covet, because it looks like my Pokemon here is a physical attacker. But yeah, Drowsy, not the worst option. I don't even know if there are other Psychic-type Pokemon around, so purely for having the novelty of a Psychic-type Pokemon this early on in the game, Drowsy, not terrible, but I'm willing to bet that there are plenty of other Psychic-type Pokemon that are available later on in the game, and they're probably better than Drowsy. Anyway, Steel types. That's basically the definitive defensive type. There is no better defensive type than Steel. Now, Fairy Steel makes for great typing because it is only weak to fire and ground. But you know what else is great defensive typing is Psychic Steel. And that's what this Pokemon's type is. This is Bronzor. If you played Pokemon Diamond and Pearl, you fought a ton of these. Psychic Steel in the past was only weak to fire and ground, and then they nerfed Steel types so that they no longer resist Ghost and Dark, so now Bronzor is also weak to Ghost and Dark. But the interesting thing about Bronzor is that it can either have Levitate for its ability, which makes it immune to ground, or have Heat Proof for its ability, which makes it immune to fire. And when you were playing Pokemon Diamond and Pearl, you never knew which ability a trainer's Bronzor would have, and that's why they were very obnoxious to fight. I didn't really describe whether or not it's good to have a Bronzor. If you're okay having a defensive Pokemon this early on in the game, Bronzor / its evolution Bronzong are pretty fantastic picks. It might even be the best pick you'll have in the game. Bronzong even does see multiplayer competitive use even to this day. I think there was even a top player for Pokemon Sword and Shield that was using a Bronzong. So it can be useful, but it's slow and it's not particularly powerful. You would be using it purely for defensive reasons, but that would be the main reason to use a Steel-type Pokemon anyway, is for defensive reasons. And that brings me back to the idea of Fairy Steel typing. Fairy Steel is only weak to fire and ground. Offensively, it's actually quite useful. Fairy is quite a good offensive type. But Fairy Steel grants an immunity to Poison and Dragon-type moves. It being Steel-type means it's gonna resist Normal, it's gonna resist Rock, it's gonna resist Grass. Okay, there we go. I was wondering when I was actually gonna fight this Pokemon. It's gonna resist a ton of types, and any other, besides Fire and Ground, everything else is just neutral or resisted by it. It's fantastic typing, and on the offensive, it's quite competent too. That is why Zacian, a Fairy Steel type from Pokemon Sword and Shield, was quite good. There's a multitude of other reasons why Zacian was good, but it was also why Pokemon like Mawile and Klefki were very good back in the day too. All right, Pom Pom, let's put you on the front. Let's put Tink in the front. I want to give all my Pokemon a chance to grow because this is basically turning into a training part, and I'm not opposed to that. I just got a new Pokemon after all, and I guess that entire time that Mass Shift Pokemon might have been Dark type because it was. I heard the super effective noise, and I think it must have been Dark type because I was using Fairy moves and I was super effective to it. That or it's Fighting type, but I think it's more of a Dark type. I think it's more akin to something like Poochyena from the 3rd generation, a relatively early game Pokemon that was Dark type. And if that's the case, Mass Shift, this new Generation 9 Pokemon, it's a 50-50 whether or not it evolves into something powerful or something weak. But I don't plan to use one. I got Tink. And I kind of only want to have 6 Pokemon for this walkthrough. And other walkthroughs, I had more than 6 and I rotated them around, and I acknowledge I could easily do that in this game. Heck, that might even be encouraged in this game to catch a bunch of Pokemon and rotate them around. I mean, it's easier than ever to power up my Pokemon. I just press the R button and they train themselves while I walk. I acknowledge that I could get more experience if I got into a trainer battle than if I was just continuously battling wild Pokemon with the R button. Speaking of which, wasn't there a trainer around here? Where did it go? I wouldn't mind fighting him or her right about now. Give Tink a proper battle against a trainer. I swear there was one like right over here and I said I would fight him later. Didn't I say that? Well, for now, Tink, you can continue fight. Oh, I didn't want to run into it. Well, whatever. Either way, Tink is super effective to it, right? Nope, you can't intimidate me, so that actually works to my advantage. And I think Tink here is going to be a physical attacker. And yeah, Fairy Wind is super effective, so I think that means Mischief, whatever, is going to be Dark type. Snarl, no! Well, Fairy Wind is only a special attack, and that was my move that was super effective towards you, but I suppose I could go for Metal Claw. Why the heck not? Well, that's why the heck not. It didn't KO you, but it did boost my attack stat, which is like a 10 or 20% chance. Yeah, Steel-type Pokemon are normally very bulky, very defensive Pokemon that are normally very slow, but are meant to effectively stall out opponents. They're meant to take hits and wear down an opponent. It kind of goes well with my team considering the 2 other Pokemon I have, Fryguy and Pom Pom, are particularly faster attackers, especially Pom Pom. It's an electric type, and electric types are usually speedy Pokemon. Like, electric is the speed stat, steel is the defensive stat. There are other defensive types, like Poison is fairly defensive. Even Dragon's fairly defensive. That's why they had to basically nerf it in Generation 6. But Steel is the defensive type. And Fairy Steel, great typing. So I'm excited to try out a Tinkatink. Maybe it's not a great Pokemon. Maybe it's just another one of those early game Pokemon that's meant to be weak. Maybe that's what Pom-Pom is too. Maybe I'm just catching a bunch of weak Pokemon. But you know what? That is the fun of playing a new generation, is to make friends and see what I stick with. Like, I know in today's day and age that a Pokemon like Raticate isn't particularly great. But you know what? Someone else probably caught one not knowing that, and that became their best buddy. I'm just saying. And then they made a Alolan Raticate, and maybe someone else did the same thing. I don't know. But I'm using Pommy, and I'm using Tinkatink, and I'm gonna make it work, darn it. I'm gonna make their typings work. Tinkatink already level 15, that's fantastic. Gotta be a little wary, because once these Pokemon start reaching level 25, I can't exactly force them to obey me anymore. I need to get a second badge, but powering them up at all? That seems great. This is the part where I catch a Pokemon and make it just as strong as the rest of my team, if not stronger. All right, let's go ahead and grab this. What is this? Low Kick, a decently powerful fighting type move. We'll see if, I don't know, like Tinkatink can learn that later. All right, well, I have devoted most of this part to exploring this route, and you know what I probably should do? I probably should see what this crystal is. I think I know what it is. First, let's have Tinkatink take out these fletchling, huh? Get a little bit of extra experience. All right, let me address something, okay? I've stated this previously in my walkthrough, but I'll state it again. I want to focus on single-player elements for the main game of this walkthrough. Thank you, Hoppit, for encountering me. That'll give me more time to stall before I check out what that crystal is. I've stated that I want to get through the main game, I want to get through the plot and the story of this walkthrough. I want to do all the gym badges, I want to do all the Titan Pokemon, and I want to do all the Team Star stuff. That is the main game of this walkthrough. I estimate that that'll be about 60 or 70 parts. And then, once I beat the main game and enter the post game on part 61 or part 71, whatever it is, that's when I'll start doing multiplayer elements. And one of the big multiplayer elements of this game is Tera battles. They're the new raid battles, because Pokemon Sword and Shield had raid battles. All around Paldea, you may spot gleaming crystals emitting brilliant beams of light. Yeah. This is a Tera raid battle. This is a new mechanic of the game. You can do these offline or online. They are more fun online because you can have your friends join you, and they serve as a way to allow players to catch Pokemon with different Tera types, and also to catch Pokemon that may not show up on this route normally. Now, based on the silhouette alone, I have no idea what this Pokemon is, but I will go ahead and do this Tera raid battle offline. Oh, okay, I guess, okay, yeah. So no matter what, you have 4 people to a raid battle. If you choose to do them offline, you can still have players connect to you locally. I don't believe anyone is going to join me locally right now. I believe I just have a bunch of computer players joining me. You can do these online and have your friends join you. If you don't have enough friends to fill a room, it will still have computer players join you. Oh, Tynamo! It's a Tynamo! Oh, I love Tynamo. Well, anyway, this is a raid battle. It's a 4 versus 1 battle. In a Tera raid battle, you need to try to defeat a Tera raid Pokemon within a time limit. If your Pokemon is knocked out, it will be revived after a while, but you'll also take a time penalty, so try to avoid letting your Pokemon faint. You can also perform a special action in a Tera raid battle, cheering. By cheering for your side, you can do things like boosting the stats of your Pokemon on your side and have them recover health. Great. Cool. Yeah, Tynamo, that's fun. Anyway, I wanted to say that I don't intend to do any more raid battles for this series until I beat the main game. I'm gonna save raid battles for the multiplayer segments of this walkthrough. So I'm doing this raid battle as a bit of a tutorial, and then I'm just gonna ignore all of the other crystals until I'm done with the main game. Now, Tera battles serve multiple purposes. Yes, you can catch a Pokemon with a different Tera type. Yes, you can catch a Pokemon that may not otherwise be accessible at that point of the game. And you can use it as an opportunity to hang out with your friends. That's all nice. But also they serve as a great opportunity to farm for items, because not whether you catch the Pokemon or not. Oh, I can't trust light as my Pokemon until 3 more turns. Okay, got it. All right, well, time's a-wasting. Let's get it. Yeah, they serve as a great way to farm for items. Regardless of what raid battle you do, you will get items at the end of it. Sometimes you'll even get items that you can only get from raid battles, and the tougher the Pokemon you defeat, the more valuable the items you'll get. For now, I am going to battle this Tynamo, and I wanted to comment on this, but I was busy explaining a bunch of things. I like and I don't like that there are all of these giant Tynamo watching this battle. It's a little creepy, And it's a little creepy just because it's Tynamo. If it was any other Pokemon, it would have been fine. Okay, I've been like fully paralyzed for half this battle, I feel. Oh, is that it? That's it! Okay, so here's the scoop. Like I've been saying, this is just a tutorial battle. I said in this walkthrough that I wouldn't catch any Pokemon that's not going to be a member of my team, especially if the Pokemon is not from this new generation, Generation 9. Tynamo is from Generation 5. So I should skip out on catching this, but because it's my first Tera raid battle, I feel as though I should catch it. So I'll go ahead and chuck a Pokeball at it. It's not a guarantee that I will catch it, but the odds of me catching it are very, very high. In fact, it might be a guarantee. In Pokemon Sword and Shield, if you did a raid battle, that wasn't an event, it was a guarantee if you were the host. So I probably will catch it, and then it's just gonna sit in my PC. And I'm okay with catching this Pokemon specifically because I actually used a Tynamo back in my Pokemon White walkthrough. It evolves eventually into Electros, and Electros is one of my favorite Pokemon. It might even be my favorite electric type Pokemon outside of Jolteon, although Palmy might beat that soon. And then look at all the valuable items I get. Lots of experience candy, lots of berries. It is a little weird that it says I got 2 Chesto berries, and then like 2 more lines down it says I got 2 Chesto berries again. But I believe like you're guaranteed to get 10 lines of items, and then it like rolls a random value of like 1 to 5, and what that value is for that line, that's the item you get. So I guess I rolled Chesto berries multiple times, but that's fine. I also got some experience candy, and then I had Tynamo in the Pokedex. Yeah. I don't, you know, it's actually a good thing that my first raid battle here was for a Pokemon that I've owned previously. Now it's gonna go into my party by default, so it's gonna register to the Pokedex, that's fine, that's one less Pokemon that I have to catch when I get into the post game and attempt to complete the Pokedex, but for now, I'm getting Tynamo out of my party so that there's no confusion about whether or not it's a member of my team. This Tynamo is not, so it shall sit in the PC. Tink, Pom Pom, and Fry guys are members of my Pokemon Scarlet team, but Tynamo is not. Very good then. Alrighty then, so now, we can move on. I explored these routes, I collected a bunch of items, including TMs, I caught a new Pokemon, leveled up a bunch of times. What the heck is this? Don't think I don't see you. Is that a wild Pokemon? That's something I haven't. Oh, I know it. Well, I've seen what this is because of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet trailers. Can I battle you? I guess not. Oh. Well, I pressed A next to it and I got a Gimmighoul coin? I don't know what that does, but I guess we'll find out later. All right. Sorry, Tink. I guess you're not fighting Gimmighoul right now. Okay. Good morning, welcome to the Pokemon Center. Yes, I would love to heal my Pokemon. Thank you very much. Okay. Yeah, I caught a new Pokemon. I think I'm gonna get along with it just fine, purely because it's very steel type. Even Mawile isn't a fantastic Pokemon, at least not since they took its Mega Form away. But I still love Mawile, so I'm fine using a Tinkatink. And I did my first Tera raid battle. It just felt appropriate to do it in this video. But yeah, as this walkthrough goes on, if I see more of those crystals, if I see more opportunities for specifically Tera raid battles, I'm gonna skip them. I've got a bunch of other things I have to do! Like actually progress onward with this game. I do want to make decent progress in each video. I don't want to just wander the routes and grind for an entire video. So I'm glad that I was able to catch another Pokemon, make it a member of my team, and I'm glad that I was able to do my first Tera raid battle. But otherwise, I'm kind of using this opportunity to just grind a little bit more because I don't want to have designated grinding videos. I would like to be able to grind while I progress onward in the game, because that's what this game is all about, is being able to explore the world and make progress while you do so. So I will make it my goal to have each of these walkthrough videos feature some major amount of progress. And if I had it my way, I would not end a walkthrough part until I made major progress. Now, how about you? You give me an item if I fought enough trainers on a route. I've defeated 3 trainers. I need to defeat 5 to get an item from you. So be it! I will look for 2 more trainers. In fact, yeah, whatever happened to that one trainer I was trying to find that I said I would come back to later? I don't know. But okay, tell you what then. I will find and battle 2 more trainers, and I'll fight a couple more wild Pokemon along the way. And then I'll grab the item from that one dude that's standing by the Pokemon Center, and then I'll go ahead and conclude this video, and then I'll have the next video actually feature me potentially arriving in the next town, because arriving in a new town will count as progress. All right, there we go. Metal Claw the Starly did not get the attack boost. Could have really used that considering that Growl has now lowered my attack stat. But you know what, it's okay. Let's see how much damage Metal Claw does regardless. I got a critical hit, so it didn't matter. All right, goodbye, Starly. Awesome job. Tink. Or Tink for short. All right, we gotta find a trainer. I imagine I would have better luck finding a trainer if I just stuck to the main path. Yeah, there's a glowing light there, so let's steer clear of that. Lots of ducks over here. There was a trainer that I fought over here like 2 videos ago, so that leads me to believe that there might not be another one directly here. Let me go back to the main path. Oh, I did not mean to run into this Pokemon. That's okay. Let me go back to the main path and then see if I can find the trainer on the main path. That's probably where I'll find most trainers. I only have to defeat 5, and I have suspicion to believe that there are more than 5 trainers on this route. Here you go, Metal Clawed again. Very good. Goodbye, Squovit. Nice. Okay. Awesome. It's all coming together. By the time I get to the second gym, I'm gonna be ready to go, and I'm gonna crush it. All right. Oh yeah, hey, wait a minute. These are Fairy-type Pokemon. I've got a Steel-type Pokemon. This is Tink's playground, if I've ever seen one. Yeah, lots of Fairy-type Pokemon. There you go. You keep getting them, Tink. I'm gonna look for a trainer battle. Never mind. Tink, come back. It looks like we've got our trainer battle. Now, if you want to use a Fairy-type Pokemon on me, I would more than welcome it. Let's do it right here, right now. This will be trainer battle number 4 against David, the office worker. All right, and then I'll go ahead and fight you. Okay, that's not a Fairy-type. That's a Phanpy. Phanpy is a ground type, and I just realized. Okay, so I've been making jokes about how the first 2 Pokemon on my team have been fire and electric type, both significantly weak to ground, and then I finally catch a 3rd Pokemon for my team, and it's also weak to ground. Whatever, at least it's defensive. And you know what I'll do, because I haven't done this yet? I'll actually go ahead and Terrestrialize it. Getting the attack boost was nice, so I'm probably still guaranteed to take out this Phanpy, but you know what? I think I'll make it a tradition. When I catch a new Pokemon for my team, I'll try to Terrestrialize it in that same video. So Tink, Terrestrialize into a pure Steel type, which is actually worse than being Fairy Steel type, but whatever. And then go ahead and crush this Phanpy. To give a brief description of Phanpy, I'll give a better one when I actually encounter one in the wild. Phanpy is a great physical attacker, and it's also fairly defensive. But it doesn't matter now, because my Tink took it out. Excellent. Awesome job, Tink, and that should get you to level 16. Wonderful. All right. Now, because I Terrestrialized here, I can't Terrestrialize again until I return to the Pokemon Center. And I might just do that. I mean, I don't really see a situation where I'm gonna need to Terrestrialize into a pure Fairy type unless I'm really scared about a ground move coming, I guess. But otherwise, I think I'd rather just find and fight this 5th trainer first. In fact, there it is right there. Great. And then I'll go to the Pokemon Center, heal up, and be good to go. All right, let's do it. I'm so ready for you. You have no idea. Yeah, daily battle special, I'm ready for that. Daily battles? That mean I can come back tomorrow and fight you again? Because that would be cool. I mean, the sun's rising. Here we go, Pichu! Nice to see you. Only problem is electric types resist Steel types, so I'll have to go for the Covet. Covet it! There you go. Nicely done. Aw, the static, but that's okay. I just needed to defeat the trainer. I'm gonna go back to the Pokemon Center right now because I said I would do that. Pichu is down. I'll give a better overview about it when I actually encounter one in the wild. But there you go. That is my 5th trainer battle on this route, and only my 2nd one for this video, but that's the 5th one that I needed to do for this route, so I can get the item from that one guy by the Pokemon Center. Yeah, I'd like to make it a habit to collect all the items from the dude at the Pokemon Center. And all right, Tink, you're not paralyzed anymore, so you can go ahead and take out all of these Smoliv. All of the Smoliv. Very good. Very good. We got some Smoliv oil. I just realized that's what it's called. That's cute. All right, let's grab the item. Okay, you know what? Take out the Jigglypuff real quickly too, because it's a Fairy type. No, this way, girl. There you go. Boom, baby. That's more like it. Just a little bit of extra experience before this video comes to a close. All right, let's grab the item, then we'll heal the Mons, and then we'll be ready to go. All right, so I've defeated 5 trainers on behalf of the Pokemon League. I've gotten this item. Aerial Ace, a decent flying type move, a physical attack that never misses. Quite powerful, could be good on Pokemon that don't otherwise learn flying type attacks. But for now, that's just gonna stay in my storage, my item storage. There you go, 3 members of my team already, and I'm only 8 parts into the walkthrough. I'd like to not have more than 6 Pokemon, I kinda said that earlier, so half my team, effectively, is already here. Cool, oh, and then you charged up my Tera Orb. Thank you very much for doing that. We'll see if that comes into play later. It'll come into play if I ever get a different Tera type, but for now, being pure Fairy, I guess it's not the worst thing. Okay, well, I did not progress onward in the world, but I did catch a new Pokemon and participate in my first Tera raid battle. So I need to go here. This is where I need to go. That's where I'm going. That's where I'm doing my next gym badge, and I'm not gonna do any of the Titan battles or the Team Star stuff along the way. We're doing all the gym badges first. So that is the plan. And I guess now I'll actually try to head north, because I basically went in a big circle now, didn't I? Oh well, I count catching a new Pokemon for my team as making progress, and I at least got to explore other parts of the world, but next time I'll actually try to progress through the map. For now, that wraps up this part of my Pokemon Scarlet walkthrough, and I'd like to thank you all for watching. I hope to see you all in future videos. Bye-bye, humans! Whoosh! Hey, thank you for watching my video. If you want to continue to support my content, the best thing you can do is like this video and subscribe to my channel. All you have to do is click the little buttons down below. Also, please be sure to follow me on Twitter to stay up to date with my video schedule. My tag is @RealYoshiller. I hope to see you all in future videos. Bye-bye! Whoosh!